So just so you guys are aware, that is 4-wheel drive with the RNG clutch kit and ECU tune. It's been a long time coming, guys. We're gonna get 32's on here, but first we're gonna have to put on a 2-inch lift kit. If you need a lift kit, hop on over to our website and get one, www.rngperformance.net. We're gonna install the lift kit. We're gonna take off this tire, that way you guys can kind of see everything. We're gonna install the lift kit, show you how to install that. It's pretty simple, pretty cut and dry and easy. And then we're gonna see, because I do not know, these guys don't know, if 32's are gonna fit on this. I got them. Let's do it. Let's just do it. So for the 32's we're putting on here, we are using Polaris, not Polaris wheels, but Polaris bolt pattern. So we are going to have to put on adapters, and we will talk about that and those adapters. But to get this wheel off, you're going to start with a 17 millimeter. All right, get that out of there. Now it's going to be time, and you can do this without taking the tires off. You can do everything we're doing today without ripping the machine apart. The only reason why the machine is ripped apart, it's getting a 97 millimeter big bore kit with custom billet jugs and CNC ported heads. So that's why it's torn apart, and it's getting snorkels and rad relocate. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a while before I'm actually ready to show that portion of it. But for this here, we're going to get in there and get to that shock bolt. So the shock bolts here are a 15. And do what I'm doing and get an Ugga gun on this, because it's going to make life a little easier. We're going to go ahead and just lift up, slight tad, pull this out, and we'll pull our shock away, right? We'll get our 2-inch lift bracket, and we'll go ahead and put that right in there just like so. There is a collar that's going to come with your kit, and we need to get that in there as well. Just like that. You're using the same bolt that you took off, and we're just going to leave it loose. We're going to leave it loose for right now. Now your kit is also going to come with a smaller bolt. We're going to put that bolt in through here. Now the gas tank is here, so it's going to be not hard, but a little tricky. Just put your fingers up in there like so. So the bolt is going to be a 12 and the nut's going to be a 13. Let's get that wrench on there correct. And that is a locked nut on there, so that'll be tight. Now we can go ahead and tighten this up here. This has a sway bar on it, so we're going to have to loosen the other side to get these to drop where we need them. I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, once you get the other side loose, I should have knew that. I should have knew that because of the sway bar, so it wasn't letting it drop. Now it drops right into place where it needs to. There we go. We can get that supplied bolt that comes in your kit right on there. I had the wrong socket. This one's a 14 on the new bolt. There we go. And your rear lift kit is now installed. You'll do the same thing on the other side, which we'll do off camera. And then we'll move to the front. But first we're going to get the 32's mounted to the rear, then move to the front. So I'll work on that, and we'll get the spacers. We'll talk about the spacers and move on to the next step. All right, guys. Now we got that lift kit put on the other side. We got a tire mounted, and we're going to get it on here. Now, I think they're going to fit well on the back. I'm not sure about the front. The front, I think, is going to be where the problems start. So we'll have to see what problem we get into up there. But to mount these Polaris wheels, we need a 4x110 to 4x156 bolt pattern. So on your Gen 3, you have 10 millimeter lugs here. With the wheels I'm using, I'm able to use my stock lug nuts. But depending upon the wheels you choose, you may not be able to use those because they're going to protrude out. Nonetheless, though, we're going to get them installed because I know they'll work for me. Get these on here, and we do carry wheel adapters for these right here. These same wheel adapters, we carry these, And we have them available on our website for you to check out. Now, before I go running these on, I want to talk about the hub in here. A lot of people, I see it in the groups all the time, and I just don't say nothing. So you're watching me, you're gonna, learn, I'm gonna teach you. So this ring here, this is for like hub-centric hubs. This ring is what will keep this straight on your hub. But with CFMOTO hubs are not hub-centric. They are lug-centric. And there's two ways to tell. If you have a lug nut that is flat like this, that means you have a hub-centric wheel. If you have one that's tapered, the tapered means you have a lug-centric wheel. So this whole diameter does not matter to you because you have a lug-centric hub. All CFMOTOs to current date have lug-centric hubs, okay? So I just wanted to clear that up because a lot of people, they get confused about these hubs. Now, there are hubs where these will stick out, and that is for the hub-centric on your wheel. Those will not work on CFMOTO. Let's go ahead and get these tightened up. And I always like to just snug them at first. Gives that a chance. If you've seen that, I don't know if you could see that, but it moved into place. Now we're going to torque them down. We're giving it about 3 or 4 ugga-duggas. That's nice torque spec. Now we are ready for our wheel. Let's get it up here and see about getting it put on. Ooh, that fits on there. Nice, Clark. Looks like it'll clear real good too. Now when you get wheels like this, you are going to need some lug nuts, aftermarket lug nuts, and we do have them on our website, rngperformance.net. So you can get a box of those from us. Let's get this thing installed. Oh, and these are the spline lug nuts, so they come with a socket. Very nice. I got them on all my units. Cool. That's on. And it looks like we have plenty of clearance back here. Check that out. Doesn't look like we're going to have much troubles at all with it. But the front is another story. We'll see what we got to do up there. Stay tuned. Well, I went ahead and pulled the wheel off camera, save you guys some time, and I installed the wheel adapter. Now we're going to want to pull this. This is the front of the machine, obviously. And you know what? I think we're going to ride it around the parking lot the way it is, because it does run the way it is. We're going to ride it around the parking lot and show you guys when it's done. But we're going to pull the bottom shock bracket here. And I'm going to have to do both sides because this also has a sway bar, in which we will be leaving the sway bars on. And I'm going to tell you why. I don't want one side to dip all the way down into a rut with these big old tires and pull an axle. So leaving the sway bars on will keep that from happening. If you want to run a 2-inch lift, but you don't want one of your wheels to slam down, especially when you're running big, heavy wheels like this, it will pull that and it will pull the axle. I've never had that issue with the side-by-sides, but these are big, big tires on this machine, and I'm just going to leave them. We'll see how it goes, but I'm going to leave them. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and pull this apart. So down here at the bottom, wait a minute, I got the wrong thing going here. Okay. So we're going to pull that bottom shock mount bolt, just like so. Your brake line is here, so you might have to finagle it. Oh, you know what? That might drop. We might not have to do that. All right, so you're going to take your whip bracket, mount bracket, and it's going to go right in there like so. Just like that, and hook right in. And we're going to take our bolt that came out of there, put it through there. Know what I did forget though? This spacer. Sorry guys. Forgot the spacer. Okay, got that spacer in there. Now our new bolt. Push down like that. And remember, it's only doing that because of the stabilizer bar. Now we can get these in there, get them tightened up. Okay. All right. Now we'll get the tires on and we'll see what fitment issues we may have. We'll go over that. Does 32's fit on a CForce 1000? They'll fit on the 800 too, by the way. The question is, does a farmer stick his hand up a bull's ass? Because yeah, they fit. There's one minor, very minor problem that I've seen. So when you turn sharp, they are gonna rub a little bit right there. Actually, they're gonna rub a lot of it. If you're an avid mud rider and you must have these 32's, you can just cut a little hole and make yourself like a little square thing out of sheet metal, or even if you're a 3D printer, you could probably 3D print it. Just cut a little square hole, a clearance hole, if you will, and you should be able to run these no problem. Aside from the clutch, you're definitely gonna need an R.N.G Performance Clutch kit to turn these bad boys. Trust me, you need it. And we will have a belt available. They're in production right now, an upgraded belt that actually produced the belt by itself, 3 horsepower on the dyno. Here's why. We'll have it available in July for you to purchase for the Gen 3 CForce 800 1000. And this is the same buggy as the Touring, or the Overland, I should say. That belt, what happens with the OEM belt, they use a really kind of crappy brand belt in this model, not the other models. The other models we've done covered, so don't get this confused with other models because they're not the same. So anything I say here is pertaining to this model, the CForce 800 and 1000 Gen 3 Touring and Overland, not the Gen 1 or the Gen 2. The belt that they use, and here's a pretty crappy belt, and it does slip quite a bit. Now that slipping does go away quite a bit with our clutch kit, okay? But that belt, it's not that great. So we've been working with Mitsubishi to have an upgraded belt made for this. We've been testing it. We have testers all over the world testing our belts right now. We're not taking any more testers. We have a lot already out there, and everything has been going smoothly to plan. We've been testing for over a year now with these, so they are in production as it speaks, and we will have them ready for sale in July. So definitely going to get one of our belts, especially if you're doing this, because the Bando belts that are in here are not going to take it. They're not. So you guys have been waiting to see me put these on there, and I know you're waiting even more to see all about that top end, that big bore, that 97 millimeter big bore kit, 12-to-1 on the compression ratio, with that fancy billet aluminum jugs that are going on there. And we're doing CNC heads, ported heads for this. Everything is in production right now. They're in production, waiting. So if you want one, just let us know. We'll let you know when they'll be available. We'll let you know. So heck yeah, guys. I wish I could ride it, but I forgot. I took the radiator out of it. So save that for another video. Could not take it for a ride. No radiator or nothing. we'll go down there. So just so you guys are aware, that is 4-wheel drive with the RNG clutch kit and ECU tune. And I didn't even adjust this clutch for the 32's as of yet. And look at what it's doing. Now we can't ride it a whole lot. There's no antifreeze, there's no radiator. So let's go get this done. Again, 4-wheel drive. I'm gonna put it in 2-wheel drive now.